you'll hear the audio coming through from all of the parties here through my account on my profile. So if you don't see anyone else unmuting and you're still hearing them, it's not Twitter Spaces. That's more on my side. But yeah, we're excited to have this conversation. So we are now on YouTube and on Twitter Spaces, and we're going to record it's a live episode for Friday's episode of the podcast NFT 365. And so here, we're going to do a little. All right, we're going to bring them in. We're going to click off the intro, play a little intro real quick, and then get started.
You're listening to NFT 365, the first daily.
Welcome back to another episode of NFT 365. One of the things that we stress a lot here on the podcast side of the house is really understanding the importance and value of really what Web3 allows with transparency and connecting a lot of the dots that we, kind of have always been missing when it comes to integration with creators being able to support, monetize, and grow in a way that makes sense to them, and doing it across the gamut as far as different ways to make that happen. And so I'm excited on today's podcast. We have a special guest with us from the Blokkbots team, as well as ex-Pittsburgh Steeler, which is hard for me to say as a diehard Pittsburgh Steeler fan. You'll always be black and gold to us, my friend. And so I feel like we've been growing with you, but excited to see that you're in Kansas City. I got to watch the vlog, Juju, of you arriving there, and just like your excitement. I know what you bring to the table. So I hopefully we don't have to face you in the AFC championships, but without Big Ben, who knows what's going on with Pittsburgh side. But super excited to have the conversation. And so I think first, just jumping off, Juju, I'd love to, I'll throw it to you, and then I'd love to get the team involved. From a standpoint of NFTs, I know, you are heavily involved as a creator, vlog, TikTok. I also know, I think it was last year in the fall, there was a couple, projects that came out kind of NFL endorsed, but I believe it's kind of like your first foray into being kind of like a full partner with an NFT project. Talk to us a little bit about where NFTs have kind of shown up for you and kind of where you're at today with that.
Yeah, man. So at first, I'm sorry. First of all, I'm sorry about Pittsburgh, man. I had to make a decision, a personal for myself. But like I said, I love Pittsburgh, diehard fans. I appreciate you guys so much. But just to get into NFT world, at first, I was kind of like one of those guys, you sit back, you see all these things that are happening. You see guys, you see jumping in and, doing projects, and it's like a one-off thing. It's like doing this, doing that as influencer. And working with these guys right here, Jesse and D-Beck. I won't say it's government name, but working with these guys right here, they pretty much showed me the whole background, the ins and outs of NFTs. And me being a person myself, love gaming, the gaming space. I have my own team Diverge, and I saw that this would be a great opportunity to be a partner, partnered in. And like I said, doing this with Blokkbots has been amazing. Like I said, it's play to earn. That's something I do, with video games and being competitive on the field, off the field, through gaming, and be able to do this is fun, man. It's awesome. Getting to learn more about Web3 and all that other stuff, and just growing as I go. So yeah, this NFT thing, man, I'm super excited to be a part of.
No, I love that. And I can tell you the use cases, and because you are a gamer, you are a creator, the fact that you are, kind of fully invested. And I guess, we'll go with D-Beck. I guess that's how it works here. D-Beck, I'm curious, I think you're the one that reached out to Juju on the fact like, hey, we have this, great NFT project that already kind of has a Genesis components to it. And you knew he was a gamer. What was your thoughts there? Like, how did those two kind of worlds come together with?
Yeah. So, well, I knew Juju already, and I knew that he was trying to get into the space the right way. And I've led a few projects already. I'm a veteran crypto investor since 2015. So yeah, I'm a kind of well off on that end. But I got into the tech side of things, and when I started to venture into the NFT space, I was a gamer my whole life. I'm probably older than everybody is on here, but gamer my whole life. And then I was developing another project, a big metaverse project, which that's a whole nother thing. But every time I talked to Juju, he was kind of reluctant. And then Jesse comes along. I discovered, Jesse and his project, and I like to go into projects, figure out how I can help move them along, et cetera, et cetera. And then, here we are. I said, yo, this project right here is the one that I would like to redevelop with Juju. And then I talked to Juju about it and showed him what it is. And immediately, it made sense. So we started to repurpose it. Juju had, his own notes on the project, et cetera, et cetera. And we're still building. Like this is, I looked at it as I wanted to create, number one, uh, a project with somebody that was actually doing what the project was about, right? I didn't want people to look at it like, oh, you shilling influencers, paying influencers, do anything. Juju not once asked anything like that. He was just like, yo, this is dope. How can we make this happen? Et cetera, et cetera. I got ideas. And here we are, there'll be a beta day one, which is most projects usually won't do that when they gamify. They make you wait for so long. Genesis holders already can use the alpha. When we unlock it, we took it down for maintenance, I believe. Uh, and then with Jesse, being a young African American game developer, as I'm, really into getting more, exposure for people like that. Outside of who Jesse is as a whole, you can go into that now. I'll give the mic up because I don't like to talk a whole lot. We'll come back to me when we get into more technical stuff.
No, I love that. I love that. So
Yeah.
Jesse, I'd love to hear a little bit of the context on, the game, the original origin, right? And I believe Juju was kind of brought into the mix more recently, but you already rolled out a Genesis. I'm buying an NFT every day for a year. And so I'm spending 4 hours a day researching. For me, the idea was I wanted to remove the barrier to entry so people didn't have to have a financial obligation to learn NFTs. Now, I'll tell you, I didn't realize, I thought a daily podcast would be a lot of work. Buying an NFT every day has been a hell of a lot more work than actually doing the podcast every day, just trying to figure out the different nuances. And so when I first heard about the project, when, I heard Juju was involved, understanding like, hey, there's a Genesis side of it. Yeah, the gaming piece is already there being implemented. And now you're gonna be launching kind of the next phase with the upcoming mint. Give us a little bit of the origin story of the project, and then kind of where we're at today and what people can look forward to, kind of upcoming. Oh, I think you're muted. Hold on one sec.
Oh yeah, there we go.
You're good.
So yeah, definitely. Originally, one of our other partners who now on here, Tim, me and him, we really wanted to do something in the NFT space, and I've always been big on like superheroes, robots, and everything else. So we had an idea to make an NFT game, and this was in April. So we just started making them one by one. And we were selling them out in like literally 1 second. Every time we dropped 1 second, 1 second, 1 second. We wanted to do it bigger from what we were originally doing because everything was handmade. It wasn't any traits, wasn't any generation. It was every Blokkbot was handmade. So we did about 300 of those, and after that we was like, okay, we're kind of getting tired of just releasing them one by one. So we came up with the idea of doing a generative collection. After we came up with the idea, I didn't want to release it and it not have the proper rollout, the proper hype, the proper everything to it. So I knew I was going to need somebody with like some influence who really liked it, the gaming space. So when I met D Beck, he was like, man, well, I really like this project. I can help you actually do it at the correct way. We had talked to plenty of people and they was kind of like, they were interested, but they were trying to like give us a raw deal. So when D Beck came on, he just was like, man, I just want to see you shine. And I got somebody I think will really be great for this project. And he ended up bringing Juju. So now we're here.
I love it. And I love like kind of like that, origin too. And like, let's face it, the NFT world from when you drop the Genesis to where we're at today is, we're living in like a whole different, arena now when it comes to, projects and due diligence and a lot of the, the things that happened over, the fall early this year. I'm curious, Juju, from a standpoint of, let's face it, I think from a brand perspective, you have a lot to risk in the play of, people that you're aligning with, people that you're collaborating with. But I also know that you're, pretty dedicated to, being not only an amazing athlete on the field, but also like you have that creator side of you. And I appreciate that as a fan, but also as a creator. That, that is something that I think is unique from an athlete perspective. When you were brought the game, and you as a gamer, but also as a creator, what was some of like either like the due diligence or your thoughts kind of right out the jump? Because for you to put your name on there, there definitely is something that you had to kind of embrace full heart, all in. So I'm curious what your take is on that.
Yeah, man. So the whole branding and everything I do, outside and off the field is, it's always been me. I've always been huge about it, just because, you wear a helmet during the game, so people don't get to see your personality. That's why I did a YouTube. That's why I do all these other socials. So that's why I do the TikToks, to show people, my personality and who I truly am. Because football doesn't last forever. So obviously, you know me. I'm big into gaming, the gaming space of being on Twitch, doing collabs with so many people, and I've known D-Beck for about 2 years now, 2 or 3 years now, and we've been working with each other. And he was like, "Look, man, like." I have this my friend Jesse. He has this NFT that he's was thinking about launching, and I was like, man, well, let me see it. And for myself, I've been approached from so many different brands, but hey, man, you should do a Juju NFT. And I was like, well, I mean, like, I feel like a lot of people just do like their own influencer. Hey, Juju Smith-Schuster NFT. Here's 10 of them. I'm gonna put it out, and then that's it. How I saw it was like when he brought. When we brought Jesse into this, like this, plays to earn type of vibe. And it was like, wow, like I'm big into gaming. This fits me perfectly. And this is kind of like, I saw it as a no-brainer. When I went into it and he showed me, I was like, wow, like this is really cool. Like the arena, the setup, like the individuals, and even, creating my own personal NFT of, not only that you get to like, pay for it, you got it, but you also get to play with it. You also get to, play to earn it, which is really cool. So, and obviously I made a couple of tweaks in there on my because like how I see it is like, well, this would be really cool. This would be really cool. This would be really cool. So I really just hop straight into it. And I love it because it's not just, hey, here's a Juju NFT. That's it. Then you just move on. Like it's more so like, here's a Juju NFT. You play to win. You can get this, this, and this. And it's limited edition. Not everyone can get the Juju NFT. So, like I said, just being part of this it's been amazing journey. I can't wait. I didn't really know about like what Jesse's done in the past, but I looked it up, did some research. He's in his bag, man, and I'm cool to be in his bag. So I'm right there with you.
Well, hey, I did my research too, right? I had to look up, all you guys from a standpoint of putting it out there, and also like I think there's something beautiful about when you kind of different worlds coming together. Also, I love the idea of not only supporting minority developers, but also minority-led projects and minority-led athletes that are driving projects, which I think is a beautiful thing in this space. I think we need to kind of drive that forward more. Jesse, what were your thoughts when Juju said yes and you were like, okay, bringing him on board? I mean, the fact that he wants to be integrated in there, right? I think it's a beautiful sign for us as collectors, but I also know as developers, like, okay, wait a second, I got a gamer in here who's going to want his own, his own tweaks, his own test. How did you kind of look at that first, kind of bringing Juju on as a partner for the project?
I thought it was beautiful because I always felt like this was a very strong project, but I know the space is so used to PFPs. It takes it's a more of an effort to get people to get into the gaming space. Like a lot of times projects will promise a game, but they're more so focused on the PFP and just like getting people to buy the secondary and stuff like that. So I was just happy that I was bringing on somebody who I felt like could really bring attention to something I feel like is different in the space. I don't see really any fighting games, so to say, on the NFT platform. Like, so I thought it was amazing, and I was super excited because I've been a fan of Juju. I'm a big football fan, so it was like the perfect combination to me.
I love that. And I shared offline. My daughter's first jerseys were number 19. They're in black and yellow. So, they were very disappointed when I kept saying he's a free agent. He's probably not coming back. And my other daughter, she had grown out of her jersey. She only has a Big Ben jersey. So right now, I think my budget's going to have to be, I have to take some of my crypto, convert it over to buying some new football jerseys.
KC jerseys, some KC
Yeah,
jerseys.
KC jerseys. I'm born and raised black and yellow, but I will be cheering from afar on that side. D-Beck, I'm curious, for, you said you're OG in the crypto space, the gaming space, play to earn, I think we're seeing it explode in some areas, which I feel like is kind of top heavy. And then there's a lot of other areas that there's some great games being developed, great ideas being developed, but I would argue a lot of them haven't come to life. I feel like in my bag, I probably have 30 of the projects that the utility was a game, and some of them I owned for 6 months, and I still have, maybe a sneak preview. How did you think of that? Like, as kind of bringing Juju in the fold and kind of connecting the dots. I mean, this game's gonna be there when you're launching.
Yeah, so that was a major piece of me even wanting to, go that hard to make sure the project, had, its just due, actually, because I'm in a lot of other gaming NFTs, like you say, right? I'm in a lot of AVAX joints. Did we lose everybody?
No, you're good.
Oh,
You're good.
no, what happened?
I just
All right.
you want to finish. That's all.
Yeah, I'm in a lot of like AVAX gaming, spots like chicken and all that shit, etc. But I'm also like, I've been a gamer, like I said, my whole life. I'm a day one Destiny player. I'm a Call of Duty, regular person, etc., etc. But this project, I know how it is when you get into the gaming projects and then they don't release a game, or they'll release a game like 6 months, damn near a year out if they do. And he already had an operating game where, the Genesis holders were able to play it. And now it was all it was just, somebody coming along that knew exactly how to do this. Like I said, I've run some other projects, et cetera, et cetera. And this one was like a no-brainer. Like Jesse said, like what he's done already in just in business in general, and then in the NFT space with the DigiStrands thing, which he could speak on too. I was very confident. Like it's not like I'm careless. I'm very confident, and I hate that certain projects and the way they handle them bring a sore eye to the NFT community, because, like I said, paid shillers I'm not a fan of. Like, I just won't. If Juju had said to me, the opposite, oh yeah, I'll do this, etc., but no, he literally was like, how can I be a part of this? That is exactly what I was looking for, right? It wasn't a guarantee he was going to like the project. There was no guarantee. I was going to say, hey, okay, let's do this, right? Because my point was, I want to bring actual, a business platform to now how people are handling this stuff, because it is a business at the end of the day. And when people see, you're running a project, and you can have a roadmap, but if you don't really have a business mind behind it, Jesse's a great businessman. Juju and Jesse are far younger than me. Juju's, 25. Jesse is barely 30. But look at the accomplishments they made. But me as a businessman, I knew exactly what Jesse needed to make sure that this went along, and that's why I'm here. And I'm also I'm heavy in the tech space, and so it's beautiful what we're doing. And like, I'm excited, man. Like, I literally dropped a few other projects just to focus on, this and the future of it. We got a bunch of utility coming to it. I know people got questions about, what exactly is it, where is it going to go from here? We'll eventually be going full motion capture, graphics, etc. So I have a heavy, background in the film industry. So we will be definitely going full fledged there eventually, at some point. And then, well, actually, not in the long term. That'll be more in the short term. But on launch day, everybody will be able to play the beta, and then we'll keep adding utility as it becomes available, and we're not going to make everybody wait, to experience or enjoy, what they paid for. So
Yeah. So
because yeah.
that's, I mean, that's essential, right? I think that part of like kind of
Yeah.
proof there, and you also bring those worlds together. I know that, right now, the Discord, we'll make sure the Discord link is in the show notes for those that can, kind of jump in there. Jesse, talk a little bit about like, like, I know your background was kind of mentioned, right? A little bit about like the gaming side of the house in, NFTs. I think play to earn, of course, we know it's kind of been something that's been socialized, but I wouldn't say that a lot of people understand really like kind of what that play to earn means for, NFT collectors as well as gamers. Because let's face it, a lot of games that have existed, you buy skins, you work your way, all of that, and it's stuck inside of a game that is owned by a platform, not by the creator. Can you talk a little bit about that, just from the like what you're kind of looking at here?
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, for people who are not really familiar with play to earn, is usually you can earn based on either the amount of time you playing, different modes that you play in, winning, losing, etc., etc. So right now with Blokkbots, we're working on our tokenomics as we speak, for all the different functions in the game where you'll be able to actually earn tokens, which you can convert into fiat or different other currents, cryptocurrencies, based on how much you win, tournaments, different things that we're planning to announce in the very coming future. But yeah, people are going to be able to actually earn money just from enjoying the game. You'll be able to actually get different weapons and power ups and different things like that. So we're definitely looking to just add something different to the gaming space that's already there, just with our own little twist to it. I think that's really where the where gaming is going. You see Epic Games coming into the space, doing metaverse things, and also coming out with games that will be play to earn. So I think this is really the future of the space, and we're really early. So I'm happy to be able to be one of the first people who, especially like a Black developer, to do something like this. It's pretty ambitious, but I like being first, and I like doing things that a lot of people wouldn't be able to do.
I mean, go big or go home, right? I like that. And we were talking before, the podcast on, being fully committed and all in on the project. And now it kind of feels like a lot of these like moving parts are kind of perfectly aligned. Juju, I'm curious, you are a natural content creator. And I know we have, especially in sports, there's kind of like that, oftentimes that barrier. Let's face it, there's a generation of athletes that can't figure out why you're talking to your phone versus a generation of athletes that are, up and coming that, that's part of the story, right? I feel, my dad actually, funny enough, is listening, which I thought was pretty cool. He's been a season ticket holder since the 60s for the Steelers. Your family has season tickets. And for me, kind of coaching my dad into understanding, like, I've got access to Juju and his world that he would have killed to have with Franco Harris and Jack Ham and all of the Steelers that he loved. But yet, it's kind of a different switch. I'm curious your take on like you as a content creator being able to bring people into your world. I mean, it's gonna be a really nice advantage for you in this space. And then I'm curious from like, you do have a gaming, experience as well. What are some of those influences from your current gaming that you think you can kind of blend into, what, Blokkbots is doing today?
Yeah, so with my generation, obviously, you talk about, the whole, putting the phone in your face and, record, do a couple videos, and then it goes viral, and everyone sees that, oh wow, that's what Juju's personality is. That's that's how he's like. And I will be honest with everyone that's watching this. I would say that doing that, I've been able to buy my mom a house. I've been able to buy my family cars. I've been able to pay the rent, the bills in so many different ways that I get so much, hate for. But it's all good because at the end of the day, I know that my family has a roof on top of their head and they're being taken care of. And like you say, you talk about like that generation of being connected to, your role model, your fans. Like I wish that like growing up as a kid that like back then, like it was so big to the point where, like my idol like Reggie Bush was, someone that I can like, man, see what he's doing every single day as a kid, or what is he doing to get better? What is he doing to get stronger? And I didn't have that growing up, but now that I am in that position to do that for so many different other role models, it's been unbelievable. I've been a gamer since Call of Duty 1. And I remember that I used to carry my PlayStation and my TV to my grandma's house. I used to walk like a mile just to use the internet, just so I could play with my friends online. Nowadays, now it's at the palm of your hand. You have video games at the palm of your hand where it's like, boom, you play to win, you turn on, you have this NFT, and you have this Juju skin. Mind you, like, I'm gonna be honest with you, I probably got the most fire skin. Shout out to Jesse for making this happen. I'm not being biased, and it's limited edition. And like, I'm number 9, so there's only be 9 out there when we first start. So, man, if you're one of those people who got my skin, man, you just don't ball out. You'd be so swaggy. You'll dominate the game, basically. So like, my background in video games says I've always been a part of it, and like I said, when D-Beck brought this to me, it was a no-brainer because I just didn't want to be like everyone else and just do a Juju NFT. I wanted to be something more, and I didn't want it to be like, all right, I do this and then I move on. No, this is like, we're doing this and we're working on this every single day, and I give my input, and that's the best part about being partners. Like, me personally, like, my gaming background is different between D-Beck and Jesse's. So when I say, hey, I think this would be a really cool stage, or this would be really cool, I have, this branding that we can implement this to, show my fans, like, hey, let's make it a football field and we compete and we just fight and the winning, So that's what's really cool about, being partners and not just being, in a talent that's just doing, hey, look, you should play blocks and that's it. No, it's like, hey, this is my game. I'm supporting it day in, day out. We're gonna ride together. We're gonna play to win. You'll see, man, we're doing this, we're doing that. And like I said, like, being able to work with Block, Jesse and D-Beck, it was just a no-brainer to be a part of this. And I'm super excited, man. I can't wait. I wish we were dropping it tonight, but man, they're telling me I gotta wait till next month, so we'll see.
Yeah, and I'll say, like, one of the things, when Drew, my producer on the side, reached out and was like, hey, Juju wants, come on the podcast, you want to make that happen? Of course, my first instinct was like, hell yeah. And then I was like, well, hold on a second. Like, I'm not one to mix my words on, the shilling or the money grab side of the house and the kind of like that balance, right? And I actually think of it like, I don't have a bad connotation with the word influencer. I think it's just actually some of the people that are just not understanding like that power and trust they have, right? And I think you've done a great job of that. I think in balancing, some of the hate, but also, the access that I know. There's a reason why anyone that saw Steelers Twitter on your signing day for Kansas City. I mean, my feed, I have a separate account that is just for Twitter or Steelers stuff because the Pittsburgh Yinzers are a little bit different when it comes to that. I mean, the amount of love and connection for you has so much to do with that access that we have to you and the things that you're about. And so for me, it didn't take much research, actually, after, as much as I talk about the amount of research I do, because I knew that, hey, if Juju's going to put his name on there, he's going to be committed to it and knows like this game. It's not your first time on an influencer project where you're kind of outside of the NFLPA blanket or, one of those pieces. So I think it's such an important piece of it. And D-Beck, I'm curious, you brought up the tech side of the house. Talk to us a little bit about the tech, things that we can be looking forward to. I know we're not going to get a preview right now, but we are buying an NFT every day for a year through November 11th. So when this mints out, we'll be making sure that we put this on our list of a project to mint, include on there. Talk to us a little bit about the tech that people can expect next month.
Yeah, so we mint out May 3rd, and we'll have a live mint, etc. We're working on a partner for that. It'll likely be via Twitch. We'll have like a mint event, etc. on May 3rd. But from the tech side of things, so here's what I wanted. I really wanted, for us to be able to sustain a play to earn game. You understand? And with a fighting game, and Jesse and us throwing ideas back and with Juju, etc. Every day it was something like new. Oh wait, you go back here and we're like, all right, the community, we want to have a true play to earn. And what I mean by that is real world utility and in-game utility, right? So we have just a tremendous amount of opportunity to co-brand inside of the game as well, and also be able to have our community earn things, from the huge brands. I won't mention any on the podcast right now. So, but as far as utility goes, there will be all the NFTs will be upgradable as far as being able to add. We'll probably set a limit on it. We're still discussing that. How many extra, moves, etc., that don't come day one that you can go ahead and get off the marketplace, because we will have an asset marketplace for the characters to be upgraded, an XP system in order to do that, which is probably will be tied into the token itself. The token would act as like XP. So if you're playing with your character, you're earning XP, right? But you could also buy XP. But we won't have it like a paywall system where people can just pay all this money and their character is just OP, right? No, we're not going to do that. What it would be is that you'll still be limited to what you can put on your character at one time. So the balance is there no matter what character you're playing with, unless you may have Juju, who we plan to have. He's so limited. His character is probably going to be a little OP to start if you could draw him, but there'll only be 9 of them. And we're minting 11,000. So, and the reason why we are minting that, it's not a lot when you consider a gaming community, especially multiplayer gaming community, right? I've been playing multiplayer games forever. Thousands of people are just on at one time. So I don't believe we actually have enough in Gen Z, but this is the start of it. It's not the end, and we will be supporting the community for the foreseeable future, for the years to come. This is not just like, hey, the wave is over and Blokkbots is over. No, look how long Fortnite lasted. Look at how long Roblox and Minecraft and Destiny is out. Like I said, I was a day one Destiny player, and I'm still there, even though they had like a rocky road on their situation. We're not looking like, oh, day one, if we don't min out this project. No, the project is the project. The project's going to keep moving. We're very well equipped to keep upgrading the project and all of that. I don't look at this as just an NFT project. It's a video game, right? With NFT utility, it's a Web3 video game. And so when you look at it that way, I believe, gamified NFTs are going to be, big. I honestly believe that Blizzard was purchased so they could gamify an NFT Call of Duty.
Yep.
That's just my opinion. That's what's going to happen. So, and all of the money they throw in at Epic Games and, these other metaverse projects, billions of dollars, the gamified NFT space is a gold mine. And, I want to encourage any other, game developers that are looking, at Web3 gaming, just do it. Don't worry about the initial support of the project. If you're doing something dope, just do it and you'll find your support somewhere, right?
I'm curious, Jesse, from that standpoint, right? Like, there's a lot of, I think the talent pool is such an amazing aspect of Web3, right? And I love, D-Beck, that you kind of put the perspective, right? It's a Web3 game that has NFT components that really puts the power in the hands of the actual gamer instead of the power in the hands of the actual platform. And I think this is it's a shift. I don't think it's really as much a technology shift as a mindset shift. And for, I actually had my daughter texted me 2 hours ago and was like, log me out of Roblox on your computer, right? So I had to log out of Roblox here for them to be on that side. But Jesse, I'm curious, from you launched the original Genesis collection. My mantra, like one of my things that I'm a full-time speaker, but the speech I give it more often than not, it's called press the damn button. And it's really, it's no different than Nike on just do it. And it's the idea of putting things out there. And D-Beck mentioned that, you wrote out a Genesis project originally. The world's changed, but also like your connections and ability to kind of mold this into something that maybe is even bigger than you originally envisioned. Talked a little bit from like the developers that are listening to this right now that are like, oh, it must be nice that you have D-Beck and Juju. I don't think those things were in place when you actually pressed the damn button and put it out. Talk to us from that perspective a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. When we first put this out, I definitely wasn't even thinking that big. It wasn't really until the summer when I start taking it a lot more serious. But I really think like people in general in the Web3 space usually you get a PFP and then it's kind of like that's it. With Blokkbots, I love Dragon Ball Z, Star Wars, and that. So I wanted to create something that was like on that type of level. So I wanted something to have lore. If you go to Blokkbots, the Genesis collection, you will see every single Blokkbot has its own lore. They live in their own world. They live on the blockchain. The Genesis, when we created it, we knew something would eventually come from it, but never did we think we would get Juju. So we just wanted to continue to build, and we kept building until things worked out in this way. And also, I do want to just kind of say something about Blokkbots with the lore. The Genesis and the Gen Z actually like battle. So Genesis and Gen Z are not friends at all. Genesis was basically the originators of the land on the blockchain. They ended up like kind of like enslaving the Gen Z. And there's a rogue Blokkbot who actually taught them.
Oh, I think we got the Matrix swallowed
Did
you.
we lose him?
Matrix swallowed him for a minute there, but we'll get Jesse back in a second.
Yeah.
You know, Juju, you know, we talk a little about tech, we talk a little about the game orientation, but I also know your foundation is involved as well. Can you talk a little bit? A let us know that the foundation, and then B, give us a little bit on how that's going to be involved in the project as well.
Yeah, man. So obviously with the Juju Foundation, you know, it's all about, you know, lifting those in spirits, those in needs, between, you know, youth to elderly people. We do so much. Oh, there he goes.
No,
It's all right. It's the Matrix. It's that Matrix.
It happens. So basically, we basically do those with the Juju Foundation. It's a nonprofit organization, and we're doing some big things, you know, with Gen Z and this NFT thing, like the gaming space. I know myself, my foundation, we do a lot of stuff with, you know, going to building like having like a camp for video games, as far as like for Team Diverge, like my gaming team, and I think incorporating like the NFT world into that, and like, you know, basically helping out these guys, teaching them, hey, this is like, you know, the Web3 of the future of these young kids generation, and just building that right there. So I'm just super excited because the Juju Foundation is has always been near and dear to my heart, and being able to do this would be awesome.
No, I love. Go ahead,
I want to touch on what he just said about the education of NFTs and just the Web3 space. I'm really big on educating people about Web3 and all of that too. And so, as you know, some schools are actually giving credit. What was it? NBA 2K is now is part of what do you call it? Sports education or something in the school,
Yep.
Yeah, you get
etc.
credit for video games
Yeah,
now,
you
like,
get
or even
credit for
scholarships and stuff like that too.
yeah, esports, because esports gaming is the next wave, and esports and tournament style gaming is involved in Blokkbots as well. So you know we'll speak more on that. Obviously, that was a no-brainer, right?
Right.
But at the end of the day, what Juju was saying with the Juju Foundation, et cetera, and how we can support holding like gaming camps, et cetera, getting like parents to understand like, yo, it's not just gaming now. It's more like it's literally a business for kids or just a learning, platform, et cetera. I have an autistic cousin who's learned more from, he plays Roblox. Like he's not that far on the spectrum, but Roblox was like his center. He had to play Roblox and then do his homework. But that's the only way that it would happen. But it kind of worked, because now he's like really into world building. So, and he's only, he's 16. He just turned 16, but he's been playing Roblox for as long as I can remember. And so, the gaming space and the narrative around the gaming space has definitely changed from when I came up. I'd get smacked in the back of the head for playing too late or even just trying, etc. So, like now, it is it's a different world. Juju's generation is the forefront of what Web3 and Web4. We can actually talk about the fact that Web4 is on the horizon along with Web3 when really divided and know. But it's his generation that's going to lead the charge in that space. And so somebody like him and Jesse and other people listening, et cetera, are the ones that should be pressing the button, like you say, on their ideas and just getting more educated on how to get them out, et cetera, et cetera. Like me, I don't charge anybody for information or you know whatever help I can provide. You can reach out to me. If you can find me on social media, and I have my business email is, just DM me or something. And I'm not, I don't shy away from it. I was speaking every day on Clubhouse before about this very same thing through the whole pandemic and helped, a couple thousand people actually. I've spoke to a couple Fortune 500 companies, which is surprising because for them to have that much money, they had no idea how to work in Web3.
Yep. Yeah,
So,
it is a little wild. And you know, it's funny. When I first heard your voice on here, I couldn't figure out where it was from. It's actually Clubhouse. We've shared the stage together. I spent way too many hours that I won't want to admit on Clubhouse that year.
was it in the rundown room?
Yeah, rundown room.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
gonna say, how funny is that? That's
Yeah,
wild.
man.
Yeah,
That was
such
the
a small
crypto
world.
room that we started beginning of 2020.
Yeah, it's
And
amazing how many connections back to like that Web3 origin. And I mean, I talk about it a lot now, but it was like the worst, the Twitter mistake in May, the first week of May. I tweeted out, look at these idiots with ape pictures laughing about spending
oh wow.
$400 Clubhouse. Yeah, I tweeted that
Oh
out.
wow.
And, now they're all
Yeah,
laughing.
you might have been the one that discouraged me from buying the apes at that time because I literally was selling them over $400. I was like, man,
Yeah,
I'm not buying these apes. But now I'm over here looking for an ape that's around $175,000 to add to my collection, and I'm like, man, why was I not thinking about this then? Like I could have had a couple,
well,
but it's fine.
you and me
We
both.
it's all good, man. That's the space, and hopefully, Blockbots is the next blue chip, situation. We in it for the long run, not the short run, and more partners and more people will come on, and yeah, man.
I love it. I love it. And you mentioned, I like to say I'm a pager wearing millennial. So I actually have a pager. Juju, you
Yeah,
can Google what one of those are. I
what
know
a
that
pager is.
it's not what you had. Like I'm a pager wearing millennial. I'm 40 years old, and proud on that side of it. And raising my three daughters who are into the Roblox side of the house. But I think you brought up an important aspect too on the not only education but like the onboarding, right? And the more examples that we can have where people look like us, the gaming skins are like the idea that we can come along. Like I might not ever be able to play football with Juju, but I might be able to be in a video game and use that skin and even own that skin, right? This ownership aspect where there's other video games where you can play as a character, but the fact you can be the one that owns it and even has that digital ownership piece is a big deal. And that's also kind of why we did this podcast on a daily basis, was really focused on education, right? And we've been doing a lot of Discord. My background's in cybersecurity. I used to work cybersecurity for the DoD here in Washington, D.C. area for a good while, over about a decade. And I love going in the Discords and just doing AMAs. Like, here's how you set up a wallet. Here's some of the best practices that kind of exist in there. And I think that's also going to be part of the onboarding here with gaming, right? We have to kind of welcome gamers in. We have to convince them that we didn't ruin Discord, that we're playing nice there at Discord. I know the NFT world kind of came into Discord acting like we owned it, and gamers are like, we've been there for years. I'm curious, Juju, from your standpoint of as a gamer, as a creator, as an athlete, you mentioned like as a kid you would have loved to have the access to an athlete side of the house. What about you, like early gaming days? Like excites you to think about the other, early gamers that are out there that are going to kind of discover this, through high school, through college, and really be able to own a piece of this, right? Be able to benefit monetarily in this game. I know you didn't have that, you're young, but that
Yeah.
here for you. What's your take on that?
So for myself, like, always been gaming, and I was like, at first, growing up as a kid, it was like, oh, I want to be Captain Price, Call of Duty. I want to be that character. Now, one of my other favorite games too, why we relate so much to, to what we're doing now, is Mortal Kombat. I've always wanted to be like my own character in like Sub-Zero, Scorpio, like, because those like the two like main characters, they're so cool. And then it comes to find out that like not only that I get to create my own character, but be my own character in the game, but also to have, part ownership in this, and, to have a say how I want the game to go, how I want it to, feel. And I can understand the way, I see it, and how my generation and the kids will see it, and how they will love it. And, like you said, only one of the biggest things you said to me was like, man, I can't play on the field with Juju Smith-Schuster, but I can play against him, in this NFT world, and, compete and beat him, and it is equal playing grounds, if you have, the right skin, but it's been a big difference. And coming into this space, it's all so, so new to me. I wish, that's why I'm thankful for, D-Beck and Jesse for, introducing me into this. And before I even came on, they told me, it was like, man, he's a big Steelers fan. I'm like, damn, I felt bad because, like, I left. But man, I appreciate all the love, support, even from your daughters, man. And because of this, I'll send you 3 jerseys, man. You don't have to pay for nothing.
Oh man, you're the man. I appreciate that. And I'll tell you, my daughters are like, wait, it's 9 o'clock Eastern time that this is gonna be on. And so I was like, don't worry, I'll send screenshots that Juju is up there. So I appreciate that a bunch. And and I'll kind of return the favor on what I can provide. I would love, I'm happy to offer like a boot camp into your Discord when you guys get things kicking off, and happy to answer questions. We're buying NFTs every day. So happy to offer that, and do our job on onboarding. I'm a big, the whole mantra here on the podcast is that we are greater than me, right? Together, we're going to be able to, really make a big impact. Jesse, I'm gonna kind of kick it to you as we kind of wrap things. Talk about what people, we got people hyped. We got people understanding this isn't a money grab athlete. This is, the fact that, a creator that's committed, that's part of the project, the founding team, foundations involved. Give us the, when can we expect? What can we expect? What's the mint date? And I'm guessing I'll put the Discord and Twitter handles and such in the show notes, but give us like kind of like that end so everybody knows where to go. Oh,
Okay, definitely. You got to go. Can you hear me?
Yep, you're good.
Okay. So Blokkbots, just at Blokkbots on Twitter, Discord, Discord/invite Blokkbots, and then Blokkbots NFT Game on Instagram are all our official links, and you can catch up with everything we got going on all 3 of those platforms. And we just looking to build something great.
I love Blokkbots with 2 Ks. Don't forget that.
Yeah,
there's
2 Ks.
Different kinds of
There's no website yet, right? There's no website yet. We have a website coming up, right? I'm guessing.
Yeah. It's gonna be back up. It was an old one, but we made edits.
Sweet. And I'll tell
doing maintenance.
I'll include the link to Juju's Instagram post with the video. Like I watched that video like 9 times. That video is legit, and it's also a sign, for those that are listening, when there is like kind of that celebrity, athlete, like we have to kind of put our guard up just based on some of the track record. And for me, it's like, how committed is that athlete to also including it in their content? And right, I saw, as soon as Juju announced it, it was on his Twitter, an Instagram video was posted up there. Like for me, that also kind of shows that integration. And I want to thank you guys so much for jumping on the podcast, for being a part of it. It's gonna be fun to watch the journey for the next month or so as you guys come to launch. And of course, Juju will be doing we'll be following along on the vlog as well. And I'll make sure all the links are included, and we'll definitely check back around. It's May 3rd, right? We have May 3rd is the mint date.
May 3rd.
Yeah, May 3rd.
And this is Ethereum, right? We're Ethereum on the Ethereum blockchain.
Ethereum blockchain, and we will announce the mint price on Twitter and the Discord tomorrow.
Oh, there you go. There's some alpha right there.
Yeah.
I love it.
We'll have that there.
I love it. So thank you guys so much. And for those that are listening and even those that are watching kind of live stream, right? This is, to me, the beauty of Web3 is it does shrink the distance and allow us to kind of share in ownership, share in these journeys, come along and build something together, right? The idea that we can actually, be a part of this. And I love that, Juju, that you're also not only adding input, but you're excited for things that are coming out. And I think that is just another a sign of what to come. So for those that are listening on Twitter Spaces, watching on YouTube, thanks so much. For those that are listening on the podcast, as you know, we will be back again tomorrow, as we do each and every day on our journey to 365. And as always, do your own damn research. But we're doing our research on this side, and excited to bring on some amazing guests like these guys here. So Make it a great day, my friends. Cheers.
Appreciate
Thank
it.
you. Thank you.